Oh, wait, what?
It sounds like it's really working out for you.
I think he's talking to Caleb. No, Caleb's not there. I'm sorry. He's the old, you know, living situation. Wait, why? He's been there for like a year.
It's hard. It's hard, Brandon. People change.
I know.
People
They
change.
grow up. They buy houses.
Oh my gosh.
They
Yeah, I gotta go talk to my
invest
parents.
in college and make a lot of money.
Who could? Who's that? Who's that guy? Such a random example. Nobody does that anymore.
Yeah, just not picking on anyone in particular.
Nobody goes to college and gets a job and then buys a
It's an
house.
actual degree that actually gets you money. That just doesn't
No,
happen anymore.
a degree in STEM, that's just fiction.
Yeah, and no one does that. It's fake news.
It's fake news. It can't hurt you. So glad we. Okay, we've been streaming for the past minute and a half.
Oh,
Okay. Uh, well, better get into Piggy Palace
Let's
then.
get into Piggy Palace. Let's get into Rat
uh,
Kings. Let's talk about Rat Kings just for a
yeah,
second.
Red Kings.
no.
Rat Kings,
That's that's
metal.
like on the same one. It is metal. That's very
Rat
accurate.
Kings, metal.
Anyway,
I want to write a metal song called Rat King. I think that could go pretty hard.
we should do it with AI. That would be hilarious.
No, I want to actually try doing something.
Like
I'm at a
actually do
point.
it.
I'm at a point. I watch stuff. I watched an entire episode where it was Sailor Moon, but world leaders. So you had Trump and Putin and Kim Jong Un, and it was all
Wait,
anime,
guys, we're
and
streaming.
it was
Is this really the
voiced
time?
over. It was,
Right.
and that was like a half-hour video, and it was all AI generated, and that changed me as a person. I
Yeah. Yeah.
like I didn't know what feelings to feel. And I decided that if I was going to do something in terms of entertainment and media, I want to do it agonizingly slow, frame by frame,
I did it
recordings,
my
right? I
way.
just sucking the soul out of
No,
entertainment.
I hear you. I think AI it's a cancer on the society. On the other hand, like I think AI can be really cool in the sense that um it has its pluses and minuses. I think it can be used appropriately and inappropriately, but I think
Right.
most of the time how most people are using it is to just make brain rot.
Yes,
Um,
this is
and
true.
there is some AI that isn't brain rot, that it's very clear that the people or the person behind it put in a lot of extra work to make sure it like
That it yeah.
told a cohesive story and like anyway.
What I think is
But I feel yeah.
I'll just put in one more comment. I saw a video online. Rumi official. He's a Swedish music producer. He was talking about shorts where the entire short was like an AI generated music video that wasn't like you couldn't really tell that it actually was AI. And he's like, this is the point where um, live performances will be valued more at this point in history because you can't prove that something is real online anymore. So in person events will be more valuable,
Yeah.
and
Same
it yeah,
with paintings,
same
I
with
think, again.
paintings and art in general. But the point is that people, uh, I'll say a majority of people who use AI don't use AI and put the AI label on it, right? The
They
whole
take it as their own.
for that it's not even yeah they the point of AI is to deceive people in thinking you've accomplished something. And when
Yeah,
it
that
gets
feels.
and when it gets discovered, then they're like then their world crumbles around them. That's why they don't want to be called AI prompt artists. They want to be called artists,
Yes.
right? But it's
Well, if I can get the prompt, I am an artist. It's not easy to get these prompts. Actually, it is because you just ask
yeah,
ChatGPT to
you
write
just
the prompt
and now
for you.
you're just fueling garbage with garbage. Well, it's not even like
Well, no,
you could produce good stuff.
ChatGPT actually writes a better prompt than most people can.
This is true, but the problem is that no learning or growth is happening from the person. You're removing the human
So I
element
have
from
a
the
question.
system.
We'll get to the podcast, people.
We'll get to the book.
We'll get there.
We know that you guys are
We'll get to the
definitely
book.
here for the book.
Yes, yes. We actually go on a monologue and like a million people start watching our complaining about AI. Um,
And they're like, "Stop reading
so
books."
yeah, yeah. So I've thought about this too because I want to use AI as a tool. Like I've been looking up some. I want to do shorts and focus on shorts. And I want to write little short stories and have different AI voices, like read the different parts and be the different characters. Um, so tell me what you think. In that instance, I'm using characters who are getting paid by the AI company um, to use their voice.
But
So they're
but
consenting to
that's
it.
not that's only if you're choosing to work with a company that proves that they are actually doing that.
Well, yeah, and I
Yeah.
am. I specifically looked them up
Okay.
because I think it can be kind of garbage. This is why art AI is kind of like iffy for me. Um, because most AI that generates art is, I mean, it just stole it.
Yeah, it's not none
It
very
just did.
yeah.
None of it is actually owned by the people.
Yep. It's
Same
all
with the AI that they've trained to write. They literally took all the books on the internet and ran it through AI.
yep.
Um, anyway, so but I don't know what I was saying, but um anyway, so the idea is that I would write the story and have them read it. And that seems to be okay to me. I don't see what would be wrong with that. Um,
I'd say
but
if you're paying someone to use their voice basically, but
yeah,
they don't necessarily have to work. I guess my question is, do they get royalties or is it just a single payment for your voice? Do you know what I'm saying?
um, I don't know how it works, how their pay structure works. I was listening to a podcast that they were talking about it. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but basically the voice actors get paid. They get they're paid like for their voice. Um, so they go in and they record a bunch of their voice, and it becomes an AI voice. And that AI voice is paid. They're paid for I think every time the voice is
Paid per
used, but I'm
use.
not sure. I'm not
If
sure. Or they
that's
get a percentage of what is
So they
used.
get royalties.
yeah,
Um,
because
I want to say
if it's
yes,
pay per
but I don't
use,
know
then
for
it's
sure.
royalties.
It could also be like a big check. It could be something like you get, I don't know. You can do different contracts like that.
Yeah,
What
because
makes sense to me is you'd be paid
pay per
royalties like
use.
in TV.
Like if you like
So like,
acting or voice acting,
but
you get paid for the gigs you do.
yeah,
If they use
yeah.
yeah, or even
But you wouldn't be paid directly from the people who are using your voice. You're paid by,
by the company.
so you're
It's like
working for
working
the
through an
company.
agency. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So the company basically has the software, turns your voice into AI, and then every time your voice is used, you may get a percentage. I'm not quite sure how it works. I need to finish the podcast, but I think it's something along those lines where because they were talking about that there's a lot of quote AI companies who will take your voice and they won't pay you for it, right?
Yeah.
Or the pay structure is really
Really sketchy.
uh predatory, yeah,
Yeah.
scammy, yeah. So But in the two I've looked up, they seem to be pretty decent to their voice actors. So
That's good.
anyway, there you go. There's my 2 cents. But people people aren't here to hear us talk about AI. They're
Yeah,
here
they're here to talk
for
about my store online, stickermule.com/Joe. Have you ever wanted stickers that aren't generated by AI and are hand drawn to my own preference and liking? Well, now you can. Go to stickermule.com/Joe. No caps. And you can buy my stuff that I, at least for all the stickers, didn't use AI. I think. Yeah, I didn't use any AI on the stickers. There may be a couple t-shirts out there that I did use AI. Get in the comments, figure out which one of those was AI.
The one with 6 fingers.
Yes, the one with 6 fingers. You get the prize. Wow. Anyways,
okay.
back to the podcast.
Welcome to the Infamous Storytellers podcast. I am your host, the Infamous Storyteller, and we are on, I think, chapter 19 of My Little Cemetery, Bodies to Bury and a Plane to Catch. Without further ado, we'll just get into it. Go ahead, Joe.
Sounds good. All right. getting into the personage. I pulled into old Ned's practice. I knew, despite it being 4 something in the morning, he'd be up. I got out of the truck and helped Amber out. She was pretty delusional, mumbling to herself. Something about she's going to kill me and not enough fuel. Lauren hadn't moved the entire drive. I helped Amber into the building, slipping my arm from around her waist as she used my shoulders for support. Ned? Ned! I called. I leaned Amber up against the counter after trying to open the door that led past the desk in his back office. I jumped over the counter and rapped on Ned's office door halfway up the hall. No one answered, but the surgery room lights were on. I pushed through the doors to find Ned and another massive man dressed in scrubs bending over a human frame. Monica was at their sides with a tray of tools. I took another step. It was Grace. Get out. Get out. Deep, growly man. Let me try this. Get out. I'm a nurse. The growl came from a big man who appeared to be in his 30s. The hairs on the back of my neck pricked up the moment he spoke. He felt dangerous. Very dangerous. I unzipped the front of my jacket, giving easy access to my 1911. The feeling he exuded was familiar, but I couldn't quite place it. Neither him nor Ned looked up. Monica was giving me a stern expression. Whatever you need, Anthony, it'll have to wait, Ned stated. I swallowed. This was bad. I glanced at an empty operating table in the room. Amber was in bad shape and needed help now, but clearly Ned, Monica, and the big man had their hands full. When you're done with Grace, I got 2 more that need your help. At this, the big man glanced up at me. His eyes were murderous. I'm gonna rip your head off with my... Smith, Ned countered, cutting the man off. I need your level head right now. We'll get to them when we're done. Now, Anthony, get out. I left the operating room and unlocked the doors separating me from Amber. She clung to the counter, barely keeping herself up. I swept the top of the reception desk off with my arm, showering the floor with pencils, paper, and the like. They're in the middle of surgery. I'm gonna lay you up here in the meantime. Amber nodded in response. Her face had dropped a few shades from standing there. I slipped off my jacket and set it to one end as a makeshift pillow. When I picked her up, she gave a small sigh of relief and let go of the desk, going limp in my arms. I gently placed her on the desk. She seemed more comfortable. There was no good place to put Lauren other than the empty operating table. I thought about going in and getting it, but stopped myself. The big man had seemed moments away from fulfilling his desire to free my head from its shoulders. Any altercation in this situation was best to avoid. I paced from Lauren in the truck to Amber on the desk over and over again, mind racing. What had happened to Grace? She was Fae and, as such, was very hard to kill. She had been in this realm for most of her life now, and she was older. But that shouldn't matter, she was still a high Fae. Her body should knit itself back together without any help with surgery, unless she were cut up with iron. I paced for a long time before Ned emerged from the operating room. He looked grimly at Amber on the desk and a mess of office supplies strewn across the floor. What have you brought me now, Anthony? Monica? He called back to the operating room. We need a second operating table. A third, if you have it, I said grimly. Ned gave me a look. We don't. The big doctor brought the operating table to Amber, and his big frame quivered. He ripped off his medical mask. What have you done to it, butcher? He roared. He went to grab me with his big, meaty hand, but I swiftly drew out my 1911 and clicked the safety off. This stopped him. We stood there seething. I prayed he wouldn't lunge, and he was quivering in anger.
In angle.
Oh, he was quivering at 95 degrees precisely. Muscles bulging under his scrubs. It was Amber that neutralized the deadly moment. Are you going to kill each other or get me off this desk? The big man tuned. Ha, that was you. Tuned. Turned.
I'm so glad you have each other.
The big man turned. Yeah, I can make mistakes without spelling problems, and he can make problems without me pronouncing them. The big man turned from me, walking over to Amber. He was still seething, but Amber seemed to get the big man under control. Ned pushed me out the front door. Let's see what else you brought us, he muttered tiredly. He shook his head at Lauren, curled up in the back seat. Rudy whimpered sadly, resting his head on her arm. What happened to them? Ned asked. She was stabbed by a silver knife when they were in a plane crash, I responded. Well, I'm glad Dr. Smith is here. He's a bit of an expert with our altered cousins, as it were. We got Lauren inside and settled on the counter where Amber had been moments before. Ned put a hand on my shoulder. Go shut the gate so we don't get any unexpected customers. I nodded, heading for the door. Oh, and Anthony, pull your truck in my barn. I don't know what it is you have in the back, but, well, they shouldn't be seen, and you should keep your distance until Grace comes around to keep the lid on Dr. Smith. I don't need you killing each other. I did what he asked, shutting the gate and pulling my truck into the barn. I was worn out, and I could feel the exhaustion starting to crash down on me. I was surprised I'd been able to keep it beaten back for so long. Part of it was trying to stay alive, but another part of it was me not wanting to relive the nightmare in the Rockies. It had only happened once since I'd returned from Edgewood's compound, but the possibility made it hard to want to sleep over the past few days. I needed the sleep, regardless, so I climbed out of the truck and laid down on a pile of hay. Rudy flopped his head and front paws on my chest, and I gave in to the blackness. I woke in a heavy sweat. Shadows of a nightmare danced in the back of my mind, but not vividly enough for me to recall what they were. Probably my trip in the Rockies with Victor, if I had to guess, or one that he had not come back from, the one when he told me to never come up after him. After putting Rudy back in the truck, I walked out of the barn and back to the practice. It was well into the afternoon, and I was starving, but that was on the bottom of my priority list. Monica smiled at me with hollowed eyes as I entered. I noticed that the counter had been picked up and cleaned. You look better. Come here. Grace would like to talk to you. Monica led me through the doors behind the desk to a room just past Ned's office. She's just through here. She's just through there. I'd best keep an eye on the front desk. I opened the door gently. Grace was lying on a fold-out couch. She was sipping on some coffee and reading something on her phone. She looked up at me, smiling. I don't know what Grace's voice is.
Oh, this is the first time we meet her, so don't mess it up.
You've been busy, it seems. I'm kidding. Is she like a high fae that's like all super sassy and all wistful sounding?
Go for it.
You've been busy, it seems. I didn't know you knew Amber, she said the last bit sweetly, and my gut flipped. She was not pleased. I probably would never have met her had you just picked up your... I paused, deciding against riling her up any further. What I mean is, where were you, Grace? Oh, we'll get to that, but how did you meet my daughter? Uh-oh. Amber? I don't know why I was surprised. Amber's fiery attitude was similar. I thought I would have known if Grace had children. That is correct. How did you meet her, Anthony? Do you know a Fae named Mr. Edgewood? Don't tell me you got caught up with him as well. This is what I get for trying to do a Thane's job. Yes, I know him, she responded. Well, Amber was under the impression he had something she wanted. She found me instead. Grace frowned deeply. It, of course, wasn't the first time I met Amber, but Grace didn't need to hear the story right now. Foolish girl. I told her to avoid him under all circumstances. Why did she want you? I settled down into an armchair across from her. She gave me an eye of disapproval, but I wasn't subservient to her, and my body ached. He wanted me to catch Sinew, you know, the Grendel, as you Fae call him. Grace's pupils widened ever so slightly. No, not even he is that mad.
Why did I just imagine, like, cat eyes?
Yeah, just the... That'd be...
Yep.
Yeah, that's probably... Yeah, yes. Canon, Faye's
We're gonna
eyeballs...
take a
We're gonna take a
brief
quick break
intermission.
to introduce our new sponsor, Shayla.
Thank you. Thank you.
How
Well,
much
Well,
money
Joe
are you
has to
doing?
redo the. Joe,
Yeah.
you have to redo the.
Yeah.
The
So
video.
this episode is brought to you by stickermule.com/Joe. If you want stickers that have not been drawn using AI and have been hand drawn to my
Except
own
for
catering-
one.
except for a couple T-shirt designs, but we're talking stickers here. If you want something that's catered to my own preference and liking, me, Joe, and you want to know what that looks like, go to stickermule.com/Joe. No caps. You can go there. I got stickers, I got buttons, I got temporary tattoos. You could put them on and then freak out your mom thinking you got a tattoo, and then you're like, just kidding, it's fake. That could be pretty funny. So Shayla, our sponsor today is Shayla. She's going to be paying $100 for every episode she has missed since today. You're so kind and generous.
Didn't realize we had designed such an incentive structure.
It's so
That's
incentive.
$1,500.
It's since today we aren't back pain.
Pennies today,
No
dollars
one's got
tomorrow.
money for that. Plus, to be fair, I think I've more than paid in time. Though I guess not
Yeah.
on this book.
We don't talk about Clarence. No, no, no.
Really, really, my non-podcast days are PTO.
Yeah.
Paid time off.
Okay, so we're Shayla. To give you a quick recap, Anthony is
need
talking
that.
to Grace right now.
For the first
Wait,
time.
Wait, which one's Grace?
Grace is the
Grace is
Grace.
the lady.
the lady.
Is the lady he's tried to call to deal with all his problems, and she won't ever pick up the phone.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. And
We
it's
just
just
found-
been revealed that
Right.
Amber is Grace's daughter, and that's pretty much
Crazy.
all you need to know.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This changes everything.
A great quality in a fixer to be a. If you're a fixer, you should be around. I guess, you know. Here
Well,
she
now I'm
is.
thinking of cyberpunk fixers, and if a fixer crosses you, you're hosed.
Fixers, the guys with the elbow blades.
No, fixers are the guys that get you jobs.
Nice. Employment.
That sounds like
Fixers
Grace.
fix the
I didn't know
problem, just
anything about
don't be the
cyberpunk.
problem.
I can fix that one problem for 3 problems more.
Best I can do is 2 problems.
Best I can do is 2 problems and a broken rib.
I'll take it.
You had me at 2.
You had me at broken.
Adam's like, only a broken rib? That's an upgrade.
Oh, that's easy.
Easy peasy.
I take that over what I've been inflicted with any day of the week.
Really though.
Bring out the boots.
Oh, on a completely unrelated random note, I don't know. 21 Pilots released a new song, and I'm happy. That's fun.
Okay, well, we'll listen to it after this podcast.
You don't have to.
Yeah, this isn't sponsored by 21
This is
Pilots,
not
by the way.
sponsored,
It's
but-
by Joe.
By Joe. It's kind of sponsored by Joe.
Sponsored
really.
by Hillary Clinton.
I'm not editing this. This is
Donald
going
J.
out.
Trump, the only thing they can both get behind.
The only thing that Donald J. Trump and Hillary Clinton can get
Couldn't
behind
have a
is
gun.
non-AI drawn stickers.
This podcast.
This podcast and stickers by Joe. Not that Joe.
That's how you know it's for everyone.
Uh,
So obscure.
This
it's
is
for
why-
everyone.
this is why the crap, I can't remember what they're called. Well, this is why the independents get hung first. And that and the libertarians.
It's because we don't care about either of you.
You just make fun of both and you just get in trouble.
It's called comedy.
Well, they're the
Whoever wins.
younger siblings, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So are you saying they have to get up on a stool to get hung, or they just don't get hung at all?
Yes, Brandon. Just like that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean 2 where they roll out the barrel for the child.
You know, I was thinking of Assassin's Creed 2 when they hang Ezio's youngest brother, who is like 12 or something, not even tall enough to
guys,
really be
why are
considered
you
that.
watching
Guilt
stuff
by
where kids are
association.
getting hung?
Guys, that's like
No,
that's
it's-
a cardinal sin of theater.
That is why it was put in,
No,
because that wasn't based
Oh,
off.
no, Shayla, they're not hanging puppies. It's okay.
Yeah, we're not hanging
Gosh.
puppies and people of diverse position. It's fine.
Ugh.
Yeah, now you're getting us canceled.
No, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
been
we're not
fun
doing
while
that.
it's lasted.
Anyway,
I
back
wonder
to
how Sarah's
podcast.
mom feels about that.
Oh, right. She listens to our podcast.
How she
Hi.
does that?
No,
No one
No,
does.
she does.
she and Brandy.
Oh, right. Brandy definitely listens. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Auntie.
Hi, Auntie.
Hi.
Oh, you're right, Auntie Brandy. I'm
Auntie Brandy.
sorry.
Okay, look, I don't have
Uh,
to watch.
Hi, stranger.
Not because I don't love you. It's because I don't remember.
Whoa.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. we have
Grace's pupils.
racist pupils. Yes,
Grace's,
the
oh,
racist pupils. Yes.
I heard racist pupils, and
I
I, thought
also heard
of
racist.
racist students, and I was like, well, okay then.
Mr.
would seem
Teacher, when
thematically
can I be as
appropriate.
racist as you? You already are, son. Okay.
that's
Uh,
that a- Simpsons skit.
No, that's
no,
just
that's Joe's
me.
brain.
That's just my brain.
It sounded straight out of Family Guy.
I do good.
I mean,
comedy
it could be.
impressions.
I would believe there's a Family Guy Simpsons skit with that. Like 110% would not doubt
crossover.
it.
In a
Guys,
cross-
I'll be back.
They're discriminating against the Simpsons.
Yeah, we discriminate against those yellow people. You know, the Simpsons. Not any other yellow
Okay,
people.
before we actually get in trouble, let's
Sorry.
continue.
Yeah, because if the Simpsons sued us, that would actually be a problem.
That'd be bad.
It would be great publicity.
That'd be huge publicity. The Simpsons hate Joe.
Obscure,
Not that
obscure
Joe.
podcast.
Imagine making it as the butt end of a joke on a Simpsons episode because of a podcast. That'd be insane.
A podcast that
Alex
has
Jones.
like how many followers?
Alex Jones has made it onto so many
Yeah, I know.
cartoons because of that.
Alec, I mean, he is the standard.
The frog's gay.
Freaking frog. Yeah, it's.
I mean, it's true. It's the
Well, but that's
medicine
the
in the water.
genius of
It
that
is.
everyone's making skits about how ridiculous it is
But
that
it's
Alex Jones thinks
true.
the water is making frogs gay. and then it turns out maybe it's true. So then everyone's
Yeah.
making skits about how that one crazy guy was right about the
That
frog
one
making
thing, yeah.
They're
the
talking.
water making the frogs
They
scream.
do comic
I mean,
skits where they're like.
it's the gift that keeps on
They do
giving.
comic
Yeah.
skits where Alex Jones was kidnapped by celebrity cultists to be hunted for game and sport.
That's great.
And and the reason why no one believes him is because all the celebrities have gaslit people into thinking that him exposing the cult weirdness never actually happened, even though it did, which is really funny considering that there's a lot of half truths in
funny.
that.
Yeah. Well, and he went to Bohemian Grove,
Yeah.
all that. That's kind of his claim to fame. Claim to fame is what kind of started it off.
Yeah.
Anyway, chapter 19.
That's for a different podcast.
It really is. Get in the comments if you want a different podcast. Or just
You
leave.
want a fan
if you want a
fiction?
different podcast, just leave.
Fan fiction of.
There's so many other options.
Okay, Joe, you're in control here.
I'm doing a great job advertising our podcast.
I'm so
we should
sorry.
just keep reading.
5 of these tangents are my fault. Go, Joe.
Well, Amber was under the impression he had something
Grace's
she wanted.
pupils.
She found me
Fine, we
instead.
can start there.
Grace frowned deeply. It, of course, wasn't the first time I met Amber, but Grace didn't need to hear that story right now. Foolish girl. I told her to avoid him under all circumstances. Why did he want you? I settled down into an armchair across from her. She gave me an eye of disapproval, but I wasn't subservient to her, and my body ached. He wanted me to catch Sinew, the Grendel, as you Fae call him. Grace's pupils widened ever so racistly. Slightly. No, not even he is that mad. Not anymore. I laughed darkly. I don't think that's how he would have done it. No, not anymore.
Hmm.
You killed him, didn't you? Grace stated. Sure did. You know he's a high fae, right? I figured it out. I chuckled again. Speaking of high fae, what put you in the state that you needed surgery from my vet and a Goliath doctor? Victor said give you a day and you would look no worse than if you'd just gotten back from paintballing. I'm unsure exactly. I'm still unsure of what exactly I ran into, Grace stated dryly. I was looking into a mess up in Utah. Campers are getting eviscerated by something up there. It's not a wolf, like Chris seemed to think. It struck me in the neck from behind and then gave me a slice through my guts. I'd probably still be there, my body helplessly trying to heal from the iron cuts, had Smith not gotten impatient and gone looking for me. He affirmed that there were not wolves in the area. Well, none that were rampaging around killing people, that is. I sat in silence, trying to come up with an idea of what it could be. But with such limited information, I had no idea. What are its patterns? I couldn't tell you. It got me 3 days into my investigation. When I left, 10 people were missing or found dead. Now there are 25, she replied. I nodded. Grace rubbed the dressing around her neck absent-mindedly, then glanced back down at her phone. Do you know how Amber and Lauren are doing? At the mention of her daughters... Oh. Do you know how Amber and Lauren are doing? 'Cause I'm Anthony. At the mention of her daughter's name, I got another one of her sweet looks. Amber is fine, thank you for asking. She'll be back to herself in a few days. Right now, she's sleeping off her injuries. Miss Lauren, I don't know. Smith rushed her to his clinic. She seems to be in some sort of coma. How long have you known Dr. Smith? He has been with me for a long time. He just hates you, so I never thought it prudent to introduce the two of you. I'd ask why, but I'm guessing I killed someone he knew. Oh, much worse. You're pretty thorough, Anthony. He has to deal with the ones that escape your grasp. I gritted my teeth. He has to finish them, you mean? Oh, no, he has to save them. Oh, don't give me that look, Anthony. My people know to stay clear from you, but sometimes it can't be helped. You just run into one. There's a handful of people I managed to whisk away without you knowing. I looked at her, no, glared at her, as the realization hit me. You could have just told me. You're hunted by the myths and legends as much as you hunt them. Second thoughts will get you killed, so I run damage control the best I can. Unfortunately, Smith has to take on the brunt of it, and when I don't get there in time. I let out a long breath. I could think of a half-dozen instances that she might have been referring to. Victor, and Grace for that matter, had drilled into me that I should always default to killing on sight. Anyone or thing that was harmless should know to stay out of my way. Now it appeared that policy was not nearly as foolproof as they made it sound. It's true. If I found a person or creature that seemed harmless, I was supposed to call Grace, but I'd only made that decision once before Lauren, and it had almost gotten me killed. How many, Grace? It doesn't matter. Like I said, you need to focus on staying alive. You'll get killed if you start second-guessing yourself. Her unwillingness to give me a number was not reassuring in the slightest. I stood up. I didn't know exactly how I felt about this new information. I had maimed and probably killed quite a few people who were not a problem. On one hand, I didn't care. Accidents happened, and trying to distinguish peaceful monsters from true monsters seemed an impossible task. The other part of me thought of Lauren. I had almost killed her, and it would have been safer for me if I had. The issue being, I'd become certain she wouldn't hurt anyone, intentionally, that is. Bringing her to Grace was the right choice, which made me wonder how many others I could have given the chance. How many others deserved it? I reached for the doorknob. Where are you going, Anthony? No, that's not the right. Where are you going, Anthony? She asked sweetly. She clearly wasn't done talking to me. I turned. We need to stick to our jobs. You can't pick up my slack because I'm too scared to go west. It's not leaving you enough time to find ways to keep innocent people from running into me. I don't need to be adding to the problem, I rambled. We have no choice as long as the Grendel lives. If it gets your scent, there's no one who can kill it. If Victor would just show back up, then the two of you could deal with the Grendel. We'd get... Excuse me. If the two of you could deal with the Grendel, then the two of you could deal with the Grendel, and we'd get back to normal, Grace retorted. Her words stopped me in my tracks, but I didn't dare tell her Victor had tried and failed to kill the thing. She wouldn't believe me if I had. She thought the man wasn't killable. I'm going to Utah. There's something there that needs killed, and I should have been on it. I should have been on it weeks ago. Grace opened her mouth, probably to contradict me, but I shut the door on her mid-sentence. I left quickly. Rudy was frantic when I opened the door. I barely caught him as he tried to leap out. I pushed him back over to the passenger side. Sorry, buddy. We got bodies to bury and a plane to catch. Roll credits. I see how you put the name of the chapter in the last thing you put at the end of the chapter, making a nice word sandwich between your chapter.
As above, so below, my
As
brother.
above, almost nearly chiasmic. You are a wordsmith. W's in the chat. Legend. So that was chapter 19. Questions, comments, concerns? If you want to read this book without listening to me or us talk about
Or
AI,
any of us,
politics, or other things unrelated to this book, go to the description below. It's literally right there. And it's free. Except for the other link, it's not free. But it's worth it. It's a different book about different stuff.
There's a podcast for that too.
There's a podcast for that too. If you like
podcast.
It's this podcast.
It's free.
It's free. It's free.
It's free.
Let's put it this way: in both situations, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for. Exactly.
It's true.
It's free, but not
Actually, I would argue with the book, you get more than what you pay for.
Yeah, probably.
How do we
This
put
is probably
this?
worth
It's
probably
not.
worth $5.
It's not
instead
TurboTax
of 3.
free. It's free box outside of the thrift store free.
Oh, that's actually good.
It's free.
I
It's
picked up
free. Joe's
a
like, I don't know how better.
$300 baby rocker for $30 at my thrift store.
Yeah, your baby has bougie tastes.
I know.
It's the
Well,
only one
I
she's
like to
like.
sleep.
So she
Adam's like, if
wouldn't.
I had known this worked, I'd have paid
My
300
point is,
bucks.
the book is a $300 value.
Your mic just muted out at
Yeah,
the
It
important
was
part.
just like, it was. You were about to
I
say
don't
something
care.
clever,
We'll
I'm sure.
just keep going. It doesn't matter.
Buy
The
the book.
It
suspense.
doesn't matter what.
Get the book. If you want it in hard copy, we're gonna need more following and support. So tell your grandma about this. I guess. Yeah.
I don't think this would be something someone's grandma would be, chill with.
Too late.
It depends on the grandma.
Grandmas are really interested in this sort of.
Grandmas like
And
cozy mysteries.
I mean,
Like
while
the
they're
true crime
dating,
grandmas.
they
The
have to do
true crime
something.
grandmas.
True crime grandmas. Huge fan.
You just want a hint of fantasy.
Do you want a hint of
Spice
fantasy
things
in
up.
your murder? Check out our
No,
book.
it's the grandmas who want the murder without the smut. Like
It's true.
that's.
I'm
There's
sorry?
no smut in
What?
my books.
Are you tired of
No.
rolling shirtless men on the covers of books? Listen to our podcast.
Instead of
we wear shirts.
instead of the instead
you
of
still
the
have
instead of the category being just kisses, it's just murder.
Just murder.
Yep. Just murder.
We know what you want, Grandma.
we got you.
We got you.
We got you.
All right, we're on to chapter 20, Box Canyon, published, which I'm guessing you put there to let you know that it's on your website, Royal Road.
Yeah.
Using the link in the description below.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah,
so our
it is.
audience knows when they go.
I'm going to start reading now.
Okay.
Thinking was impossible. I was having a hard time sleeping back south, but in Utah it was impossible. I got sleep for sure every 2 days for 6 hours. I was no longer in control of my sleep cycle. It was manageable before, but now I had to make it certain I was somewhere safe 4 hours before the 48-hour mark. The thing was trailing me. I still didn't know what it was, but I could feel it stalking me. It was the faintest of faint feelings. That's the wrong word for stalking, but good try.
Faintingly faint.
The faintest of faint feelings.
I feel a faint.
I stood up, felt faint, sat down, felt faint again. Fired and I missed.
I know that reference.
Sat down, had a popsicle, stood up, fired, missed again. I spent the first day driving, spreading my scent. That's the wrong scent, but good try.
Like money. He's just
Spending my
throwing
pennies,
dimes out the window.
spending my cash in and around Tool Valley.
Throwing coins at the
I walked
beggars.
through every store, restaurant, and church I could find. That
They
changed-
loved me.
That changed. They loved me. It was huge. I had so much money.
Why do I have to ruin my own stuff?
I walked through every
Go
store,
on.
You
every
mean
casino,
improve?
every charity, every soup kitchen. Then I parked out on a gravel strip and waited.
My change is other people's cash.
My change is other people's cash. My cash is other people's 401ks. The monster
Go on.
loved specifically 2023 quarters.
Okay, so by scent, he actually means to smell, just so everyone knows.
So everyone knows.
The
Moving on.
the skent. The skent.
Skent. S-C-E-N-T. Skent.
Hate it when that sneaky C just doesn't show up, doesn't lift its
When
weight.
that actually sneaky S didn't show up that time. I thought they were-
Oh,
I know. It was literally penny.
it was.
cent.
Oh wow.
Okay.
What?
Having the Rocky Mountain Horror, the sinew, less than a state north of me, was not helping me focus. It should still be in Idaho. It should still be in Idaho, but it didn't have to be. If it was the Rocky Mountain Horror, that thing was killing the people in Twill. Tool? How do you pronounce this?
Twilla.
Tool.
Twilla?
Toole.
Is it just Tool?
That Too. What?
Yeah,
What valley?
Toole.
Is that correct?
Gesundheit.
It's a,
Is
Ooh.
that right?
Yeah,
it's
I
a
think
real
Twilla
place
is.
in Utah.
Yeah, it's Twilla.
Twilla?
Twilla?
That's how it's pronounced.
Please say it one more time so I can say it right.
Twilla.
Towilla? Towilliger?
Twilla.
Reference.
I had
Okay.
I don't like that one.
my companion at the MTC was from Twilla. So
Wow,
assuming that is how.
way to advertise, that.
Boy.
It's not advertising. It's just we come from a certain
No.
background.
Not advertise. I'm not
No.
saying
No.
advertise. I didn't mean advertise. I meant
Right.
out
right.
yourself.
Yeah, you doxed yourself. Everyone's gonna go to Utah
I
now
can
to
only.
find you because you definitely
I
live
can
there.
only out myself if it's something I don't mind being outed for.
Preach.
But I can't give you an example because, well,
I'm just
that would just
imagining.
be
Yeah, Shayla,
I'm just,
continue your preaching.
I'm just imagining the Rocky Mountain Horror, like walking down, picking up quarters every few steps. Right? It's like, oh, I'm on his
Ooh, a piece
trail.
of candy.
I'm on
Ooh, a
his.
piece of
No,
candy.
it's
Ooh, a
pennies.
penny.
They're not quarters.
penny.
They're pennies.
Ooh, a penny. It's just like a
Oh, he's
8
probably
foot tall.
trying.
That's my
Yeah.
personal headcanon. Is
He's
that
probably doing a mural
it's actually
somewhere.
attracted to pennies.
He's building a mural. He's on the
Yeah.
home repair part of TikTok.
So you didn't
And he's
actually
redoing his
read
flooring.
that, Joe. Joe, you got to Twillo, and then you just made a
Twilla.
reference to the next part of the sentence that you didn't read.
What?
People have
Yeah.
got to hate us. We are getting nowhere in this
12,
book.
12.
It's pronounced Twilla.
Twilla.
Pronounced
Then it
Okay,
would,
so
Twilla.
without
start
question,
Twilla and
pick
keep
up-
reading.
Twilla. Twilla, Twilla, Twilla. Twilla. Then it would, without question, pick up my scent. If it did come for me, I'd be ready. Outrunning it should be more than possible in my truck. Breaking my scent trail was another problem entirely. It's all pennies.
Yeah,
Every
Joe,
single
now
word
I
is
can't get it out of my mind. Because he's just like throwing, he like has a compulsion to throw change out his window. Can't help it.
We need to write a spoof of this book. It will sell so much.
Buckets of pennies, maybe?
The Grendel with the grabby hands. Ooh, a penny.
I mean, the
Grendel
merch,
with the grabby.
the
penny.
merch on stickermule/Joe, stickermule.com/Joe
Definitely have
For
a
that,
Grendel with
I'll
would
have-
be
picking up
awesome.
pennies.
I'll have a Grendel picking up pennies. Maybe within a month or so of this episode. That
Can
sounds
we
like
have
something I
it
could
with?
do.
Can we have
Okay.
it with the
We'll
maggot
plan it
holding
later.
a
How
mug
about we
with Clarence?
How about we read the story?
Actually, how about we
Please.
get your own merch store going? Link might be in a different video. Find it. Okay.
Run.
It was only said. Where something. It didn't come on the first day or the next. I spent a week parked on the long flat strips waiting to be found by a horror that never came. Something else
Ugly.
was terrorizing this valley, so I left town and started driving down box canyons, listening for the echoes of the dead. More than halfway up my second canyon of the day, I came to where the road was washed out. The canyon continued up 5 or so miles past with the washout. Not usually a problem. I just grabbed my extra gun, my bag, and hit the pavement. But I didn't want to be far from the truck. It was my only solution for the sinew that might be hunting me. But I needed to get this job over quickly. I needed to go back south where I could think. I turned the truck around and backed it up the wash. I could walk around the next bend maybe a little further, then I would come back to the truck if I didn't feel anything. The washed out road was deep, and I slid down the side and had a little trouble getting up the loose dirt with my pack and 12-gauge slung over my chest. I walked up the warm road past desert shrubs and small trees that thrived in the sheltered environment. A zip caught my eye as a hummingbird darted into a bush. I looked closer I took a closer look and saw it sitting in a nest. I didn't know they lived in the desert. The bird seemed too small, too delicate to survive in such a dry and windswept place. It's 'cause it's not a hummingbird. It's a cryptid. It's a skinwalker. I got you. Passing the hummingbird's home, I turned the corner in the canyon and was immediately hit by the sweet smell of rotting bodies. Every dead, decomposing thing has a smell. People have the most recognizable scent. The smell was strong and coming down through the canyon. I checked my shotgun and continued my walk. The road narrowed and came to a fork in the canyon. To the left, the road wound up in the canyon. To the right, the canyon narrowed and flattened out in the canyon.
There's a lot of
Walls
canyons
constricted
going
together
on.
in the canyon. Figure out which canyons were actually in there and which did I just add myself, giving the winding narrow space an unstable feel. The smell of the dead was coming, drifting from the narrow passage. I took a long breath, letting the fear I had been living in for the past 2 weeks wash over me. Then I locked it out. Whatever was down there needed killing, and I was here to help it on its way. I stepped between the canyon walls, embracing the cool scent of rotting dead. The first body echoed from beneath a thicket of scraggly bushes. He was mostly skeleton, surrounded by a rope, the remains of a climbing harness around his waist. Continuing for a few minutes, I found another body, this one hidden beneath a thin layer of gravel, also mostly skeleton, with a ripped and shredded winter coat and ski pants. They had clearly been killed months apart from one another. Coming to a large overhang, I crouched, stooping beneath it 20 or so feet. Coming out on the other side, I was in an oval bowl formation, around 50 feet wide and 80 feet long. The echoes throbbed at me from the ground. They were all mixed and overlaid with one another. More than 20 individuals, I guessed. The ground was raised higher in the oval section as well. The smell was unbearable. A small spring fed down a crack in the canyon wall, dampening the stones beneath my feet. The congregator of the rot I was smelling. Looking up through the oval in the canyon, I could see torn cloth from a flannel shirt, ski goggles hanging off a shrub, a pair of large pink sunglasses discarded in the back corner of the oval, and a bundle of sticks deposited by the last flood. Listening, I watched and waited, but there was no sound other than the fresh wind that was coming from further down the canyon. I was relieved. Whatever had killed these people was not the Rocky Mountain Horror. There was no bark strands hanging from crude stick structures with the dead remains slopped in piles beneath them. Like piles of pennies. Whatever was doing this killing was trying to hide the fact. The Rocky Mountain Horror didn't hide its prey. It simply eats it somewhere it won't be disturbed. I walked over the collection of the dead. Not 10 feet from the oval, the canyon took a sudden 2-foot drop. Oh no, this sentence is not sentencing in my brain. Not 10 feet from the oval, the canyon took a sudden 2-foot drop, where stones and gravel had been removed for 30 or so yards forward. I looked back the way I came. It was no lower than the center oval, but flooding had washed away the apparent shift in the canyon floor. The sound of rocks falling over my head made me dive beneath an overhang in the canyon's wall. The rock the size of a tire landed 3 feet away. I peered up, pointing my shotgun, looking up the sides of the canyon. All I could see was a leather work glove, sun bleached, snagged in a crack of a cliff face at the top of the canyon. I was on edge. Certainly the cascading rock was an intentional attempt to hit me. I slipped out from under my slight overhang and scanned the canyon above. Nothing. No movement. Eyes now scanning the top of the canyon, more than the front. I made my way to the back, where the wall rose in 100 or so cliff face. Finding a suitable lip in the wall to sit under, I settled and waited for something more to happen. After the sun set, I retrieved my night vision goggles from my pack. It'd be very hard for someone to see me down in this pit, but I would see them easily. I would easily see them. I would easily see
I
them
would see them
skyline
easily.
against the bright stars. Great
Oh,
wording.
the skyline. Or their skyline.
Yes.
Or their outlines. Their
It needs
outlines.
another
But I'll
word.
easily
You need
see
someone
them.
to read through it.
But I would easily see
yeah.
them skyline against the bright stars. Wow, where'd you get that accent from? I'm Liberian. Oh, sorry. Where'd you get that from? Another hour of waiting, and I decided I had waited enough. I kept scanning up and down, side to side. I didn't see any movement. Getting back to my truck, I noticed the washed-out bank was inches away from my truck's back tires instead of 5 or so feet, and the slop was very loose and runny. It seemed like someone had been digging towards my truck. I walked around and found all 4 tires deflated, punctured. Yep, something had been digging towards my truck. There will be blood tonight. My truck! The pop tires didn't stop me from getting in and pulling in 50 more feet down the road and away from the eroding washout. Something had been digging as I sat in the back of the canyon. I didn't know what or how long. It really didn't look like digging, more like hard, compacted dirt was crumbling apart and falling down the hillside of its own accord. Something it could not be doing on its own. I'd settle down and wait, see if the thing came back. And that's the end of chapter 20. Which means it's the end of the episode, because we only do 2 chapters an episode.
Yeah, we will do 2 chapters.
If you want to figure out
What do you
happens-
guys think?
What do you guys think? Get in the comments below.
I'm enjoying it. Obviously.
Yeah.
How many canyons were actually in that, Joe?
So it's just
it's not
it's
just
one
2.
canyon that splits off.
No, he
in a
was talking
Y.
about how many times you said canyon in the sentence where canyon was there like 5 times. Every decomposing smell. The smell strong, going through the canyon. I checked my shotgun, continued walk. The road narrowed, came to a fork in the canyon. To the left, road wound up on the canyon. To the right, the canyon narrowed and flattened out. The walls constricting together. Okay, so 4 times, but it really felt like a lot.
It was a lot.
He was in a canyon.
Yep.
Get in the
What we're
comments-
reading now is what I wrote without anyone editing it,
Yeah,
just
this is what
myself.
he wrote without using AI. The
Don't
other
say
book,
that.
So the other book he
We're
wrote
pretty impressive.
also wasn't with AI.
Without.
He learned, he grew, he overcome. You can't do that if you just plug and chug.
You overcome.
He overcome.
Yes.
Now I can't prove that I'm a real person.
Yeah.
Get in the comments if you think I'm
Why
not
can't I
real.
click this button?
Select each image that doesn't have a canyon.
So yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. I think we are
Yeah.
definitely no man's land. I remember Dr. Smith. I do remember him.
I don't remember any of this.
Well, this is new, yeah.
I read pretty
Yeah.
far, I believe.
Yeah, no, this is where I started. Chapter 20 is what I started to finish the story. So,
I would say it's.
what do you guys think? What do you think the monster is?
I think it's just a really big mole. Just a.
Wait, the one that's not the Grendel?
The one that's not.
Yeah, the one that he's hunting now. Yeah.
It's currently.
Oh, it's obvious. It's a person.
Just a regular serial
person.
killer. It's Dexter.
Yes,
You got him.
yes. It's just a random dude
I like burying bodies.
who's
I like
trying to
them
figure out
big.
why the hiker count in the area is going down. It's like, there should be more people to take out. Where'd they
I have
go?
to move my operation. Just the
I know.
people are.
There's not
My
as much.
prey is spinning out.
There's
How
not
could
as
this be
much
happening
supply.
to me?
The Rocky Mountain Horror's just kind of amused by him. We'll just an ant.
This guy's silly.
We'll let it be for now.
You know, that's a good theory, Shayla.
Good
Thank
theory.
you. Thank you.
I like that theory. I
Yeah,
like
I
the
know.
monster
and
too.
that furrow in the car is just someone planting a mine for him to drive over. And the flat tires is to make him think, oh, gee, this is bad. I better
Aw,
drive on
gee,
it.
I better drive.
Better
Yeah,
drive fast.
Gotta go fast.
Psychological warfare is real, guy.
Yes. I do think it could be a person. that like slashing the tires is a very aware thing to do. But at the same time,
However, there were those wolf creature thingies which were way cooler in my head. That
until
It's okay.
until I
Brandon,
described
they were
them
described-
Your
accurately.
personal
Look.
headcanon is canon.
You heard it.
That
here
it doesn't
first,
bother
folks.
me any at all if people rewrite things to make it better for them. That's completely okay.
Oh no! Okay.
My fan fiction, he's really cool
He's
and
not-
actually knows how to talk to
And
people.
he looks like me.
He can actually talk to women and
Just talk in general.
Yeah.
Imagine someone
he
writing.
has
Bro.
5 girlfriends.
Imagine someone writing a fan fiction of My Little Cemetery, except Anthony is actually socially capable.
Whatever. Your little Sigma rear
That
can't
would be a
talk to
different book.
anybody.
It'd be a different book. It wouldn't be the same.
I didn't say that out loud. I did
Written
say
by
that
a
out
different man.
Yeah.
loud. For different things. Novel.
Yeah, guys, you're gonna. It's good. I really enjoyed writing this. You'll like it next week. But with that,
is this based off of a traditional cryptid, or no comment?
I'm not gonna give you any clues.
Okay, so it totally
Yeah,
is based
because
off
he's
of a
trying to
regular
figure out how
cryptid.
he's gonna make up for the fact that it's a human
It's
and
just
he doesn't
literally
know how
just
to,
a
like...
Wendigo.
A dude named Jim.
Dude named Jim. It's me,
Jim!
Jim.
It's Joe!
Oh no, I would be awake
From you!
From you?
No, this is the wrong...
Anthony,
This is the
Anthony
name of the
pulling out his
character
gun.
from
Well, I don't usually
what
kill
you-
people.
TV show. I'm pretty sure his name is Joe.
Is it
Who?
Joe from you? That would be so sad because Joe
Yeah.
Joe killed that one
Yeah.
uncle guy.
You-
and I really
it's a
like that
psychological-
uncle guy.
There's a reason I haven't watched this show.
Yeah, because I'm in it and it portrays me in a bad light.
Mostly because Joe's cute and I don't want to deal with the fact
Aw,
that
shucks.
so many women on the internet can, like, pretend that it's fine that he stalks and kills women
He's like,
because he's hot.
he
so that makes it
kills all
okay."
these people except for the lead protagonist girl that's the self-insert for me. Yeah.
Yeah. But then he does, and so they have to pick a new lead protagonist girl. Who
Those-
don't
Yeah, so those
don't worry.
Oops.
so those girls are 2 steps shy of writing letters to serial killers.
Those girls
just-
are all the girls that the main character slept with and used before he met the woman that he's supposed to be with. And he says, "You're not like the other girls I've slept with."
He's
and
not
then you
like
just
the
forget.
other girls.
You're not like all the you're not like the other George
And then you
Foreman
just
grills.
forget that he has all these other women that he's used and abused,
You're
and
not like
somehow
the other
she is
women
going
I
to be
said-
enough. She is going to be enough.
you're
Looking at
diff-
you, Book Talk.
You're different
Looking
from,
at all of you,
you're
Book Talk.
different from my
except for, like,
exes.
the
You're
2%.
currently alive.
You know, I'm so
Oh,
glad I
gosh.
don't use TikTok, but Facebook
no idea what
Reels
they're talking
bleeds
about.
into it,
Facebook
and
Reels
Yeah.
is no
Good-
man's
So,
land.
gracious. There
So
is
book-
some
Book Talk is the advertising for really, really for not for all, but a lot for smut on Kindle Unlimited and other stuff like that. That's just what Book Talk has kind of become synonymous for. And their reels are all over the place. Though they've started, or maybe this is just because I've
Have you been doing a good job?
beat up my
filtering your
algorithms so
preferences?
much, is that instead of giving me all of their clips, which is just like a clip of a dirty part of the book, and then, you know, just like of the a picture of the page, they
What
go
in the
in and
world
it's
do
like
you
the
read?
author.
She doesn't.
It's not what I'm reading, it's what the YouTube algorithm,
It's
not
like,
YouTube, the
ah,
Facebook algorithm is
the
trying to
demogra-
give me.
The demographic of young single women.
I am a young single, you don't even have to be
You're a
single. I'm
woman.
just a woman in my
You're so
30s.
smut.
Ha!
Yeah.
We know
When you put it that way,
Anyway,
it sounds
they've-
very patriarchal.
They've transitioned from giving, or at least I've trained my Facebook reels to transition from giving me pages of redacted smut, because they'll like cover parts of some of the words that'll get them kicked off with a highlighter, things like that, or lots of asterisks, things like. Anyway, I report
Okay,
those
So
because.
before we continue,
Anyway,
are we done yet?
We
Oh
are
my
done.
gosh,
yeah.
we are
Yeah,
done?
We are
we're
done.
Sorry.
Kayla's like,
Okay.
"Oh, no,
Peace, everyone.
Bye. We love you guys.
Bye. Adios.
Pay us
Yeah, we
money.
do. Love all.